we go. Welcome everyone, and hopefully you can see my screen. If you can see the screen, just put yes in the question area just so I know that you can see it, because I'm the only one monitoring this and none of the other JV partners are on it. Thank you, Leslie. Got it. Nobody, yep, thanks George, got it. Everybody's good. Perfect, guys. Thanks. Again, one of the things I wanted to remind everybody of is the fact that these webinars are all being recorded. Some of them are being, or some of them have been transcribed, others have not. And if you want to, all you need to do is to find more of these is go to this page on my site, which is fredgleeck.com/webinars. And you can watch webinars from, God, I don't know, a year and a half ago now. Let's see what's the oldest one here. The oldest one here is from March of 2010. Man, that's almost 2 years ago. So you can see a ton of older webinars here, all kinds of stuff. Feel free to do that. There's a lot of good material. I can't really point you to specific ones and say, oh man, that one's really good, because I really don't remember at this point. So thank you all again for being here. First thing I wanted to do is to tell you a couple of things. I'm going to skip the order here, change the order of what I'm going to cover. One of the things that I got an idea from my brilliant wife about was the idea that I was saying, hey, it would really help for my sales of stuff, in general, but just in Kindle specifically, to be able to have lots and lots of people reviewing it. So a number of you are on the call here, that I put out a request for people who are interested in getting or giving me reviews of my Kindle books and articles. And the net result was very positive. I got, I think to date, about 35 or so people who responded and said, yes, count me in. And I was really amazed at people's willingness to do some really good work on this. So what I would tell you is, and this is another idea that I have that's coming up, but one of the things, in order for you to be perceived as credible, and let me just actually go to the site on Amazon and show you what I'm talking about here, just so that I can show you. And by the way, pull down to the Kindle store, and then I'm going to put in my name, Fred Gleeck. Got to put it separately here. I'm going to find there's a bunch of different articles that I have on here, but I wanted to show you the most recent one, which is how to become an expert in any field, that I just finished writing. I can't find it now. Let's see where it is. Let's see. Here it is. Okay, so this is the first one in which I sort of used this system of getting other people to review. But when you go to Amazon, and I don't care if you're buying a toaster or a book or anything, first thing I do is I look at the number of reviews. Now it's a little bit tough to see here, but I enlarged it there for you. 6 customer reviews, a bunch of likes on Facebook. That's all good. And again, I want to give you a number of things here that are really important for you to understand. Number one, the more reviews you have, the better. Although it almost, I've seen some research that says, again, if you have some negative reviews, it actually helps. I would say for the first 8 or 10, make sure that if you can, that you try and get as many 4- and 5-star reviews as possible. So when I click on that, you can see that there are 6 5-star reviews. The problem is that anyone who buys anything, even if these are truthful reviews, which they are, you don't want to make people think that they're set up. So when you get past 6 or 8 reviews, starting to have at least a few that are not 5-star actually helps. My God, Jason Brubaker back from the dead. Jason, can you hear me? I guess not. So Jason is one of the JV partners who hasn't been on in a long while. Haven't heard from Jason. And when he actually
Hey Fred, can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah. So I haven't seen you for a while. Where you been? Jason? I can't hear you. No.
Hey Fred, how about now?
I can hear you now. I've been talking the whole time. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Good. Excellent. So Jason is Back, I haven't seen him in a while, but let me get through a few things. And I'll ask you some questions here. So first thing is on the Kindle idea, you want to have as many reviews as you can, but again, you can't make it look like it's a setup. The other thing that's very important on these that a lot of people don't realize is the tagging that you do. So if you go back to the previous screen here, you'll see that with any program, I mean specifically now we're talking books, not other products, there is an area here where you can put your tags. And let me see if I can find those. Here you go. So in this area, and you want to make sure that you get people, that you do it yourself, and you also get other people to tag your articles with relevant keywords so that if people are looking for that, they'll find them. Like this is information marketing, marketing, self-promotion, self-publishing. All of those relate to becoming an expert, and that's sort of what we got going here. So um, this is, and by the way, what I do is while people are reviewing things, especially when I put out my call to everybody to become reviewers, I leave everything at 99 cents just in case somebody wants to buy something. I will very soon after I get probably two or three more reviews, I'll put this price up to where it'll stay for a while at least at $2.99 so that what we've got here is a system for making, getting your ebook or article, your e-article up on Amazon on the Kindle store, getting it up there, getting it reviewed, keeping it at 99 cents, and then changing it over. Now the question might come up, well, why not make it free? The problem is if you make it free, it becomes a problem. Um, I know that if you put it free on another site and leave it priced on Amazon, then Amazon will match the price, and that becomes a hassle. So I just do it sort of a standard way, which is when I release anything, I release it at 99 cents. And then what I do is after I get a number of reviews, I then jack up the price to at least $2.99, and I may occasionally test it, going up to $4.99 or even higher pricing, depending on what it is. So that's important. The next thing here is I wanted to tell you guys, I got very excited a while back about video email, and the provider I was using just wasn't doing things right. So I found another place that's actually less expensive, and I talked to some of the people yesterday. And again, if you use coolvideotool.com, you'll find my link, my affiliate link to this new video email service. The thing that I like about it is prices start as low as $16 per month. The reason why I'm excited about this is we have plenty of data, much of that data coming in from Bill DeWeese, another JV partner, and Bill thinks, and I agree with him, that the reason why he's been so successful in generating a lot of money from a very small list size is everybody who signed up for his list, he immediately sent them a video email, hey, saying, hey, thanks for signing up for my list and getting this and blah, blah, blah. And he immediately created this connection with them right off the bat, which was important. So make sure and check this out because the video email service allows you to send, video email as opposed to standard email, written text email, and it's just people really enjoy that, and they find it a lot more helpful. Now, Jason, you haven't checked in a while. I haven't talked to you in a few months. What's happening with you? This is Jason Brubaker, and one of our JVs is film. What is it? Filmmaker theme WordPress. Well, how does it go again? I forget.
Well, the project that we did together is called filmmakertheme.com.
Yeah, filmmakertheme.com. Okay, yeah, let me enlarge that type there. By the way, I did get a check from ClickBank.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah, me too. So now, let's check that out. Filmmakertheme.com. And what's the latest on what's going on there?
Well, to be frank, I'm a little bit dissatisfied with some of the results that we're getting out there. We've made a few sales, as you know.
Yeah.
But I've also seen a few returns, and if I know anything from talking to you, that's not a good sign.
Yeah,
I've been trying to figure out why we're. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, especially if it's with a limited number of sales. In other words.
But interestingly enough, every time we make a sale, I'm seeing something on the back end. When you go into the menu of this filmmaker theme, there are links, affiliate links to Bluehost and Aweber. And so every time we make a sale, I notice that I make another sale either at Bluehost or Aweber.
Got it. And
And
so,
so
yeah.
so we may be getting some stuff on the back end. And I know we have that set up so that those links rotate
Yep.
between you, myself, and the other partners.
Yep.
So, we'll have to compare some data, but I would venture to guess that you've also been seeing some of these back end benefits as well.
I don't know if I have or not. I haven't seen
Okay.
anything. So your point is, to date now, what's been the number of total sales?
I don't have them right in front of me, but it's been around maybe a dozen tops.
Okay, so 12 sales or so, and how many returns?
Um, I'll get the stats for you, Fred, but it's a lot. It's probably over 50%.
Wow, really? So
It
let's
is, yeah.
assume that it's 50%
Okay.
refunds. So tell me um, here's the thing. Have you talked to any of the people that have refunded?
Yeah, I've talked to a few of them. Some of the reasons why they're refunding is it's just more complicated than what they thought they were getting into.
Got it. Too complicated. What else?
Um, the site itself, in terms of how we have that, the look and feel of it, they're looking to make some changes to it and customizations that they really can't do unless they're a programmer or unless they hire a programmer.
Okay. Okay. And so any other big reasons? So too complicated, can't customize. What else?
Those are the two major ones that I'm hearing.
Okay. And so have we changed any of the sales procedure or the sales letter to make that, a little bit clearer to them?
We haven't. That's something that's on the list, and I want to talk to you in more detail about it.
Well, one of the things, Jason, I think that would be good to do is, to put I would put it, you know, I would put it somewhere, in somewhere after you get them excited about the theme, maybe somewhere down here, you know, maybe down here, down near prep your movie, you put a little note that says, just wanted to remind you that, you know, um, this is going to be, explain the reasons or explain the elements that will make them less apt to say, oh, it was too complicated, that at least they knew that in advance. And also, maybe these folks need to have an option to get set up.
Right.
So maybe when they go and they buy the program, one of the immediate upsells is, I know that we're trying to keep it under $50 for ClickBank, which, by the way, everybody who's on the webinar here should know this. This filmmaker theme program is being sold through ClickBank.
And just so you know, it's being sold for $77, Fred.
At $77. Okay, and
77.
Got it. So,
and you have to stay under, I believe it's 97 is or 100 is their current policy.
Oh, I thought it was under 50.
No, we're okay. We're okay up to about 100. That's where it gets a little bit iffy, though, because if you're trying to sell physical products, ClickBank has some limitations there.
Got it. So, in other words, I thought the limit used to be $50, over which you had to get some kind of, papal dispensation. But what about if we were to sell a $97 filmmaker theme and a $97 upsell, which is we set it up for you? Now, how much, and again, you'd have to be really careful to define that, but how much work would be involved?
Well, this is the other problem that I'm running into, is I find that the folks that are staying with us, they're emailing me frequently with different tweaks that they want to make to the filmmaker theme. And I've decided that this will be the last time that I'm in the WordPress theme business.
Yeah.
So, the lesson I've learned from this is it's great to have these ideas, but kind of what we're getting at here is the customer service part of it. The more complicated the idea, maybe the more complicated the customer service.
Now,
I do have a developer overseas that worked with us on the theme, and he's offered to allow me to kind of throw filmmakers his way that want the customizations I haven't worked any back-end deals out with him, and I don't even know if I will. I wanted this to be a good tool
Yeah.
and be a cool tool for filmmakers. But one of the thoughts I had was just to give it away as an upsell and keep all the back-end stuff in there.
Oh,
And I'll have to check this. In other words, we get a lot of back-end links built into the menu of the actual theme. So I'll have to give you a demo of it. But when you log into this theme, and for those of us on the call that have used WordPress before,
can you demo it right now?
Let me see if I have a site set up. I've been doing a lot of things, Fred, and I don't know if I have a live site set up. I got a new computer, MacBook Pro,
right?
Finally.
Yep.
And you know how you with your old browser, I had it set up so that all my passwords were remembered.
Yep.
And now I can't remember any of them. So I'm underprepared right now to show you guys the demo. But maybe when we switch off topic, I'll go do some research and see if I can find it somewhere.
Okay, because I think that the idea here is, so given this problem, the question becomes, with filmmakertheme.com, might we not want to go to a give it away model and then make money on the back end?
Correct. Because the vast majority of people that are getting the theme, and again, we'll have to look at the stats, but I'm seeing an influx of like Bluehost affiliate sales every time we sell a filmmaker theme.
Yeah, I haven't seen
one. So the theory would be, go ahead.
I haven't seen one of those, so I didn't know that there was money being generated.
I'll look and just kind of find some data on it.
Good. So I mean, but the general question is, I mean, look, we've had this going for a while. My response is yes, without a doubt. I think it's worth doing. So I would, in fact, do exactly that, which is I'd give it. Now, let me ask you this. I mean, I assume that if we give this away, a whole lot of people will get it, correct?
Correct.
And a whole lot of people, I mean, this is similar to my whole model with my site and doing all the free stuff that I do. I think it's a great idea, especially if we're already seeing that from limited numbers of purchases, people are getting all of this other back-end stuff. I think it's a great idea.
Well, there's two benefits to it. The Filmmaker Theme website, if you were to go back over to filmmakertheme.com.
Okay. Which I'm here. I just
it's set up as a membership site. So as soon as they make the purchase here, now they're in a membership site where, in essence, the other benefit is we can now source filmmakers and get them on the mailing list here.
Yep.
So if they were to go through this process right now, they would become a member of the Filmmaker Theme site, whatever that means.
Yep.
And this domain and the hosting resides on one of the partners' accounts. But with that said, that allows you to get a whole bunch of filmmakers. Admittedly, a lot of them are already the guys on my list, but it allows us to get them somewhere else. So we could create this into some sort of community as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think
so we give it away for free. We get them into this community, and there's a whole lot of back-end benefits built into this.
Okay, let's go one at a time here, Jason. Let's talk about the okay, so we've got hosting. What else?
We have autoresponder.
Okay.
And those are the two major ones. And we also have, I have a lot of products that are set up that I've set up for you guys with your affiliate codes, so that if they were to buy any of the products from through this program, we would all benefit that way too.
Yeah, I mean, I see.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, I see this as the only concern I have for you is that people who are already sort of in your group come over here, and then now you're having to split revenue. But I mean, I think that as long as more money is coming in than was for you, I think that's good. So I think that people may perceive this, maybe differently. And also the other thing that I can see about this is that,
If I go to filmmakertheme.com/tools, it'll give you an idea of all the tools that are built into the theme. So just imagine when you open up the theme and you see your initial WordPress dashboard, all of these tools are built into it. And they click through it, and the way that it works is there's about 4 of us in the deal on the back end, so every 4th click, it goes to one of us.
got it. So these are all the different things that we're making money with after the fact.
Correct. And those are all built into the theme dashboard. So in essence, if we gave it away for free, we'd still benefit, even if they gave it to all of their friends. It's your same theory that you would do with, like you were saying earlier. This is your model.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's a great idea. I would, especially given the fact that filmmakers aren't, most of the people who are relatively novice filmmakers aren't, they don't have a lot of money, and to get them in the front door like that, and then just because they know they're going to have to pay for hosting. So whatever you charge. The other thing is I see that this community might also help us relieve some customer service issues. First off, if you're not charging people don't expect to be serviced, but the community can help each other. In other words, you can have a forum where people, we can divide the forum into 3 or 4 different sections, one of which is technical WordPress help.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll talk to Dave Hamilton, the web marketing magician, about how to set that up.
I think it'd be
but if we can get a forum in there, and because I need to go focus on my book and my speaking gigs and some other movie distribution stuff that I'm doing, the last thing I want to do is field calls and about, hey, I can't log into my WordPress theme, help me.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that plug in for forums. This is an example, best word forum plugin. So again, within WordPress, which our site is a WordPress site, correct?
Correct.
There are a lot of different forum plugins, some of which are free, some of which are paid, and I think that would be a great way to go. And you just got to make sure that the particular plugin that you get isn't conflicting in some way. So you just have to try that to find out, by the way. So I like the idea.
Okay, so I'll talk with the other partners, and we can expect to implement this shortly. And I'll circle back with you to make sure, before I pull the trigger on it, to just have a strategy for that.
You can pull the trigger without me. I think that the key is here that to understand that, there are going to be plenty of people, there are going to be plenty of people who are willing to download a free theme, and once they're convinced that, wow, this is pretty cool, this does a lot of stuff, but I'm a little bit confused, they are definitely going to need hosting. They're definitely going to need autoresponders. The thing that I was just telling everyone else about, one of the other things that you can do, although it won't, you'll have to split it manually, is this cool video tool. I switched providers, by the way. So the new cool video tool, which is as low as $16 a month for video email, is something that filmmakers could definitely use.
Yeah, so from that perspective, once they're in this membership site, we can take that tools page that you revealed a few minutes ago, and we can add anything to it, and then we'll just talk to the web marketing magician about how to make it so that every time somebody clicks on it, it goes to a different partner.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to do.
In terms of the affiliate deal.
Although, I almost feel like, the reason for that is you don't want to be handling administratively cutting 3 checks at the end of every month. Although, frankly, that might be easier to do.
Well, okay, yeah, and just so I'm clear, the thing that I'm describing here, and I don't know cool video tool in terms of, what the affiliate program looks like.
Yeah, it's a one-tiered affiliate program. So what we're describing here, that we're able to split commissions via ClickBank automatically, cannot happen. So
would you be okay if we did it similar to how we're doing Aweber, which is We each have an affiliate agreement with the source, and then every time somebody clicks on it, it goes to you, it goes to me, and then it goes to the other partner and the other partner after that, and it just keeps circulating that way.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is that I'm a little bit skeptical of whether or not that's working because
Okay,
you said that I mean, I would much rather trust you to divvy up
sure.
the spoils at the end of the month, although that is a bit of a hassle, but frankly, that's only like three additional checks. I mean, three checks, one to each of us, one to me, one to Dave, and one to the developer, right?
Well, I'm happy to work it out. My thing now is I'm over here working with some movie distributors, and I'm actually getting more and more into the idea of starting my own movie distribution company. So in as much as I can keep the accounting hands off, and we can work all of this out. We'll figure
Okay.
it out.
Sounds good. I see
But
that.
I'm just looking for some solutions here. Just like I just need to spend my time a little bit more wisely, Fred. I'm growing. What can I say? Business is starting to pick up finally.
Well, and what's happening? What happened that business started picking up?
Well, two things. If you want to head over to filmmakingstuff.com,
Yeah.
I've switched the site architecture, and for this I've worked with Dave Hamilton, the web marketing magician, to get a much cleaner site with some functionality. It just looks a little bit more modern. The layout's really clean. Updated the pop-up domination there, which is increasing opt-ins. But in addition to that, if you see my first article at the top here, I've spent the last few months writing a book. By the way, I don't know the link for it, but I bought your program, the one that you joint ventured with Gina, on how to market my book.
Oh, okay.
And I forget the link to that.
Well, the thing about it is that I can. You haven't been on the webinars recently, but we've been talking a lot about Kindle stuff. But okay, so tell me. So the book. So Dave is, by the way, on the call as well. So this has been updated using Dave, who is, for those of you who don't know Dave, he is Dave at wmmagician.com, and he is the web marketing magician. And so, Dave, how much of an increase in opt-in rates have you seen on this site now?
You mean Jason?
Yeah, Jason's. I don't. Either one of you. So, Jason? What was the opt-in rate before? What is it now?
Well, when you and I first started talking, and you can happily figure out the percentages here. When I first met you, my opt-in rates were about 4 people a day. Now it varies between 16 to 24 people a day.
Same number of people coming to the site?
It's been a slight increase, but it's steadily around 400 to 500 people a day on the site. So it used to be 4 people out of that 400 or 500 people. Now it's, like I said, about 16 to 20.
Yeah, so you went from 1% to like 4 to 5%. That's massive.
Yeah, and I've tried a few different headlines and different opt-in. I'm just testing different things when I have the time to test to see what gets me a better rate.
So my
current.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So what's the process after they opt in? Tell me what happens to these people. So we've now got these folks opting in here at 16 to 20 of them a day. What's the next step? What happens?
They are entered into an autoresponder with 56 pre-written emails. And those emails go out every Tuesday. And in addition to those emails, I try to write a newsletter every Thursday so that they hear from me at least twice a week.
Once via email and once with a notice that a new newsletter item is on.
Correct.
Okay, and let me just give you, you haven't been on here for a while, and so one of the things we've been discussing, if you're getting 16 to 20 people a day, here, let me just give you some numbers from, and I'm not saying it'll be exactly equivalent, but I know it'll be impressive. So with Bill DeWeese at VoiceOver, Voice-over Training, at this site, Bill is doing the following. Everyone who opts in, and he's getting about between, I think now, I think it's moved up a little bit, but let's say he gets 6 to 10 a day, right?
Yep.
He sends them a personalized, meaning by name, video email using, again, that coolvideotool.com. And here's what happens. He has, these are real numbers now, right? And I'm going to round these off to make it simple. He has about 400 people on his list, a small list. And over the last year, and this isn't really accurate because I'll tell you why, he's generated off of that list $20,000, or that's $50 per person, isn't it?
That's great.
And that's really not accurate because early on, I mean, obviously it's been towards the end of the year he gained more people, but let's just say it's $50 per person. Imagine if each of your people was worth $50 per person. Number one, it's incredibly impressive that you've done this, which is you've gone to from 1% to 4 to 5% in terms of number of opt-ins. That's great. The big issue, and I think that this is why, one of the reasons why, I can't say it's the only reason why, one of the biggest reasons why Bill DeWeese has been so successful in getting this number up to where it is, which is amazing, is by sending out a personalized video email when the person opts in. Now, let's just say you could do this at this point with 16 to 20 people opting in a day. Let's say you spent a minute on each one of those, and so it took you 20 minutes. What I would guess that your rate of value of each person on your list may not be $50 per person, but would be a dramatic increase, possibly as large as the increase you've gone from here at 1% to here at 4 to 5%. I don't know if it'll be that big, but I suggest it'll be big. Now, once it gets to the point where it's unmanageable, where you got 50 people opting in a day, then obviously you're going to have to send a generic video email. But apparently, according to Bill and the data that we have, that he attributes that as his most important element of getting this value up to $50 a day, $50 per person.
That's great.
And all I know is what he's doing and that it worked. Now I will tell you that since he got a little bit annoyed at the previous vendor at Cool Video Tool, but now that's up and running, but for the last month or so, he sort of hasn't been sending out video emails, and this number has again dropped.
Interesting.
So we're pretty sure, again, one isolated case, but there seems to be significantly, reliable data that having the video email when someone opts in, because imagine this, you opt into a list. How many times have you gotten an email, a personalized email from someone that doesn't look like it's boilerplate, A, and B? How many times have you gotten a video email? The answer is none, probably. So I think this is worth testing.
Yeah. Coolvideotool.com.
Yeah, coolvideotool.com. That's the new provider, and the cost is as low as, it's like as low, you can go for, depending on the size of the database. And I would suggest that anyone who goes to this site, please do not opt for anything other than the least expensive item first, because I want everybody to test this. I want you to test it and see if it works for you. Report to me your results, because I want to see whether or not this is working well for everyone.
Fred, could I tack something onto that? I think this is really, really a good idea, because in the world of autoresponders, everybody's got autoresponders. There's very little personalized stuff. Bill's, the fact that he's dealing with people personally, that makes such a huge difference. And I'm considering the same thing. One of the things that I do is I have a phone number on my contact page, and I actually answer it sometimes. Now, it's not my cell number. Yep. It's a Google number.
Yep.
That direct. What's that?
Yep, got it.
So it directs people, and I have the option of, I can change where that rings to, or I can get a new Google number. Those are free to get anyway. But it surprises people when I pick up. They're like, "Oh my goodness, you're a real person. What are you answering your phone for?" But it makes me think, man, what if I was more personal with my list, like Bill's doing? I just think people respond to the personal touch. It's just we're lazy and we don't do that, but it makes such a
Well,
difference.
they respond at the rate of $50 per person. So all you have to do is
Yeah.
figure out, hey, Jason, how big is your list?
Right now it's about 4,500.
Okay, so 4,500. Let's just say that I'm not full of baloney and you had been following this thing. That means that this year you could have generated $200,000 from your list.
That did not happen this year.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, I'm sort of lying though too, because I don't know if that those will be what your numbers will be given $50 per person, which is pretty high, because admittedly, Bill has some services that are more expensive, but again, I cannot see you not getting major improvements similar to what you and Dave have come up with, going from this number here. I mean, it's massive. You had like a 400% increase in opt-ins.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it, and it's funny just how exponentially these things grow.
Yeah, I mean it. I mean that's to be able to do that. I mean, I had a woman who came to my boot camp last time. Next one is next week, by the way. There's a woman who came last time. Let me show everybody her site. She's a great gal, and she does a site called Write a Great Bio.com. So this is her, writeagreatbio.com. She came to the boot camp. We did some changes. And Dave, what did you guys decide with Jill? Was there any other changes you guys made?
Well, the last I talked to her, we started out that sidebar. It was kind of difficult to read the left sidebar. There was just a bunch of, it was all text and it was confusing. So I created that ebook cover and made it really easy for people. I think we added a buy button, and she loved it. Now I haven't heard back from her, but so I don't know the conversion
Well, I know that
change that
I
this.
know what she told me, which is some of her rates, I mean, some of her opt-in rates have tripled as well.
Yeah, see, it's slight changes that make a pretty monumental difference.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think that everybody who's on the webinar here should understand that, this is not. There's a couple things here, which is we know. Let's go back to the sort of the very beginning of this whole thing, and that is that more people, more people on your list equals more money in your pocket. That is undisputable. That's not up for debate. So if that's true, so then how do you translate more people into more money, which is, increasing the percentage of opt-ins, which is what that's all about. We just, again, above it. And then increasing the average value of a customer. And that seems to be working with video email. Now, I mean, I'm a simple, I sound like somebody on television that I watch all the time. I'm a simple guy, and I don't want to overcomplicate all this stuff. So to me, it seems pretty obvious that number one, everybody should be trying to find ways to increase the number of people that come into their list. Obvious. The second thing, though, is that people don't do is they don't think about how do I increase the average amount of money somebody spends with me, and the way that I do that is through personalization. And because everybody else, as Dave said, is doing things impersonally. And when you're doing things impersonally, you're less apt to spend money with people. Like I know there's somebody on the webinar right now that I put out when I put out a call for for people to help me review. And by the way, Dave, I think you came in later, so you may not have seen this. Based on the much brighter party within my household, my wife, Sabrina came up with the idea that in order to increase the number of people who review my articles and books in the Kindle store, that what I should
Yeah.
do is ask my list, who would like to be put on a list to get a free copy of my stuff on the proviso that if they're happy with the article, that if they're happy with the article, they go to Amazon and write a review. If they want to buy it, that's great. If they don't, fine. But the other thing is that they also, if they're not happy with the article, if it would give them the desire to give me less than 4 or 5 stars, that they send me some feedback. People have been unbelievable so far. I just started this yesterday. And the whole idea here is similar to this calculus right here, which we just put together on, the number of people in your list and then increasing the number and increasing the average value. When we're dealing with Amazon, people's decision on whether or not to buy something, and I don't care if this is a fixture for your house, some kind of a bathroom fixture, or if it's a book or an ebook, people look at reviews. Reviews have a big impact on whether or not people will buy on Amazon. Would you agree, Jason?
I would agree.
Dave, would you agree? Dave is no longer with us.
I'll speak for Dave. He would agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm here.
It's fairly obvious.
Absolutely, Fred.
It's fairly obvious that reviews impact sales, and they impact them in a big way. So she came up with this idea, and I think it's great. She says, well, why don't you go to everybody in your list and say, hey, would you mind becoming one of my reviewers? Here's the deal. I'll send you stuff for free. You review it, and if you're not happy with it, send me feedback. And I did get some feedback from some people, and it was excellent. I mean, I am always very impressed with the people who are on my list. The one guy I just called back, by the way, he said, Fred, it's Mitch. Give me a call back. So I call back, and I had to go through like 3 screeners till I finally, and when he finally picks up, he goes, hi, this is Dr. So-and-so. And I go, is this Mitch? He goes, yeah. Is this Fred? I go, yeah, hey. He goes, I had no idea I was dealing with some fancy pants doctor who, was doing something, but I'm always impressed with the people on my list. I'm also impressed with how willing they are to do stuff to try and help, because Jason, your list would be exactly the same way, by the way. You have provided people with a tremendous amount of value. In exchange, they are more than willing to help you. And so, the best thing is, and not only that, but it creates, and it's more of a relationship that's being created between them. So, Dave, did you have something you were going to say on that?
No, I agree with you entirely on that. And honestly, what I'm doing right now is I'm signing up for this free video tool because I'm just getting more and more motivated that when you talk to people firsthand, they love it. They love it. They're so used to people being larger than life and inaccessible online. And when there's a connection, man, it's huge.
Yeah. Now, remember, don't get anything other than the cheapest version to start, because I don't want anybody on this webinar to believe me or to trust me. I want you to trust your own numbers, and I want you to tell me whether or not you see an increase in the value of every customer. And the simplest way to do that in terms of computation is how many people on your list right now. Let's make it easy. Let's say you have 100 people, make it 1,000 people on your list, and over the last year you had 1,000 people on your list and you generated $10,000. So make it easy, it's $1 per person. Now, I want you to see when you start doing the video email how much of an increase you have, and do that for a few months and tell me, because I'm anxious to see what that will do with everybody and whether or not, you'll see some change, and I'm suggesting you will. So with that, I think that Dave, what other stuff? I mean, Dave has got some cool stuff going on. I know that Jason, you've been talking to him, but what other kinds of stuff, Dave, is going on that you can tell us about? Anything?
Well, the thing that the project you and I were talking about basically making push button websites that are as good as, it's the same system that the pros are using. We're just making it a complete website on the fly.
Now, somebody contacted me that said that they became a beta tester for you. Are there people? Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh yeah. It was awesome. I got, after the last webinar, I heard from some really, really cool people, and they're doing some real. I asked them. I said, some people wrote to me, and I wrote back, said, hey, I'd love to have you on the beta testing list. We're really close to having it ready for people to try out. But I said, tell me a little bit about what you're doing and what you want to build. And I'm amazed at how diverse and cool the projects people are working on with these things. But the common denominator is, if you're going to do anything online, whether sell products, there's one guy that is doing things to help farmers. And as somebody that grew up on a farm, I resonated. And it's the whole idea is, there's farmers that could benefit from new techniques and new technology and new things, but most farmers aren't quite that savvy, or they're not looking online, and he wants to bridge that gap. I said, man, I'd love to help out with that. So, but the common denominator is, people need to be able to put up websites as quickly as they create Word documents. But that's always been a huge technology jump. For, anybody can crank out a Microsoft Word document these days. But to be able to crank out a great-looking website, even a simple one that just advertises an upcoming seminar or just sells one product or a squeeze page, there's just, it takes forever. You got to hire somebody. It's expensive. And I want to make that a lot easier for people.
Yeah, and so one of the things that you and I talked about was the whole idea. And again, here, this is one of the things that, and again, I'd break it into even smaller categories. Like I was saying, that this site, the Speaking Expert Teleseminar Series, everybody wants to do teleseminars. They see this and they go, wow, that's great. I should be doing that in my field. The answer is absolutely should. So then people think, oh, yeah, I got to get 6 or 7 people that I can interview. Well, that's pretty easy. I know some people. Oh, I got to put up a website that does all this stuff and then does this and then does that. And they go, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do it. It's too much of a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So now what you're doing is, the thing that I think is cool about what you're doing is that you are really, really breaking it down to individual topics. So if I want to do a seminar, if I want to do a teleseminar, if I want to do a this, I want to do a that, you have a separate website for each of those. Are there any of them available that we can show people right now?
Well, here, the quick one, that my kind of model seminar site, I'll tell you, it's 7minutedemos, DEMOS.com/seminar.
/seminar, singular?
Seminar, yeah, okay, singular.
So this is a templated seminar website. So it's, again, so what if you wanted to do a seminar? So let's say, Dave, somebody called you.
I recognize one of those guys.
Yeah, a couple of those people. It's too bad that we didn't get top billing over Tony Robbins.
Yeah, right. And
so what? George Tran in his glasses looks very somehow looks like he knows what he's doing. So now here's the deal. So if somebody called you after this webinar and said, Dave, I'm doing a seminar, it's launching tomorrow, can we have it up and ready to go? What would your answer be?
Give me 15 minutes. And here's what I need. I need their hosting, wherever their web host is, and the process takes me 7 minutes. And here's the thing. The reason it takes me 7 minutes is I already built the site. I built the site. I built all the subpages,
let me interrupt you a second just to tell people. Everybody has heard the joke about the plumber that comes into some guy's house who's having some nightmare going on, and he walks into the house, he turns one thing, he does one thing, and he says, okay, it's fixed, give me $250. And the guy goes, what do you mean $250? He says, you were only here for 2 minutes. Yeah, I was only here for 2 minutes, or Dave was only doing this for 7 minutes, but it took him 5 years to figure out how to do this with his expertise. So you're not paying him for the 7 minutes, you're paying him for the 5 years it took him to figure out how to do it in 7 minutes, correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's selling value. Yeah. But here's where I want to go is, I don't want to do it for people. I want to teach them how to do it themselves and hand it off to them.
Okay, and again, you're going to end up, as I've always said, having multiple options, which is option one. Option one is do it yourself. Option two is do it with some help, and option 3 is I do it all for you, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So again, now all of these things are going to be priced, and if you were giving people, just so they have some idea of what's going on here, if they're doing it themselves, eventually how much is this going to cost?
I'm going to sell this for $97.
And what am I going to get for $97?
Well, for $97, you're going to get
All the
9.
templates?
Yep, all the templates.
9 templates?
9 templates, and these are completely pre-built, fully stocked websites.
Now we have to remind people that that's not your total cost, because in all of these options that Dave provides, you have to also buy other things, and let's just talk about how much will they cost. You'll also have to make one-time purchases of.
Yes, there's the theme that I used to build it. The WordPress theme will cost $97, but that's one time.
Okay.
And the tool that I use to clone the pre-built site onto your domain costs $47.
Okay, so in other words, if somebody if this was ready to go, which it is not, correct?
Correct, almost.
Okay. When do we anticipate it being ready?
My goal is by the webinar next week, we have a launched site that people can go to.
Okay, good. And so, but what I want to just explain to people here is, if they pay $97, $97, and $47 for a total of about $250, correct? Probably $241 or whatever, $243. They will get something that will allow them to do tons of different sites themselves in all these different areas, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's some of them. I mean, I've got fully built out authority sites with blogs and contact pages and products. If you want to go to the site, the same site as that seminar, but instead of seminar, put in authority.
Yep.
We spent a lot of time building these sites, and it's got dummy content in it.
I'll show them mine. Which, by the way, since I didn't go to the event, this is what I had up, and it still hasn't been changed. It's still got that thriving CPA stuff in there. But here, I did change the banner. I got that far.
Yeah, exactly. But if you click on the product page, a lot of people not sure how to lay out the product page. We've got
it's already done for them.
It's done for you. You just put in your image, put in your buy link, whether PayPal or whatever, and it's ready to roll.
And here's the blog already set up. All you do is replace it.
Yeah.
The about page, all you do is replace that as well. Definitely change the picture.
Honestly, Fred, what I'm spending most of my time on is recording the training that steps people through, every single piece. How do you change the image? How do you change an article? How do you put a buy link in? And that just takes a long time to help people, to know exactly what to do, hold their hand all the way through it. But once it's done, I just send them there, and they learn how to do it themselves.
Well, this is great. So next week, please tell your friends, tell everybody else to be on the webinar, to sign up to see it, because Dave is going to be demonstrating this. Are you sure we're giving people enough time? Is that giving you enough time, Dave?
It is. I'm motivated. And if people want to join the beta list,
okay.
Have them email me. I'm going to put that up again.
Okay, to join the beta list.
Do you have a pre-sale list by any chance for people that might, maybe they...
Well, that's a good idea.
The early adopters that want to jump on this today?
Well, maybe what we could do is by the next webinar, we have the early list. Because frankly, Fred, the people on this list, I'd love to give them the first crack at it and maybe have a discount price.
Yeah.
Before I go live with it.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like, get them to do it, get them to try it, understanding that if you discount yours from 97 to 77 or whatever you do, they will still have to pay this 97 and this 47 because you have no control over that. Those aren't your products.
Exactly. They'll need those anyway.
Good. Well, everybody, thank you for being on today's webinar. Jason, thank you very much for being here.